Ah, Nerevar, you have arrived just in time for my sermon on the skills of the Elder Scrolls. Yes, I'm fully aware that this knowledge extends beyond just Skyrim, but fear not, for I shall share my timeless wisdom of these skills in their purest essence. Brace yourself as we delve into the three grand categories of stealth, magic, and combat, each tied to the famous thief, mage, and warrior constellations, respectively. Let us commence with stealth. Behold, the pickpocket skill, which you can employ to stealthily pilfer items from unsuspecting souls. How delightful! As you improve in this skill, you shall acquire perks that make pickpocketing more successful, allow you to silently slay your victims with poisons, enhance your carrying capacity, and even steal equipped items. A must-have for all you greedy little thieves out there. Oh, it reminds me of when the tribunal filched Sunder, Keening, and Wraithguard. Disgusting. A deserved D-tier skill indeed. Next, we have the sneak skill, allowing you to skulk about undetected, reducing your visibility and noise levels. It proves useful for committing crimes incognito, avoiding unwanted confrontations, and executing surprise attacks with devastating precision. Truly, a skill essential for thieves and assassins, lest they desire their marks to notice missing valuables or worse, the lack of their own pulse. As for everyone else, well, it's the perfect way to work on your leg muscles, for crouching shall be your new favorite pastime. I'll be generous and grant this one a B tier, purely for the amusing moments it provides when people suddenly lose their sight in your presence. Ah, lockpicking, the art of accessing locked rooms and containers without the proper keys. The gateway to treasures and the key to a literal heart. Quite practical for breaking and entering, isn't it? B tier, just because it grants you the power to deal with those annoying pressure plates the Nord architects seem to adore. Light armor, unsurprisingly, governs your ability to fight and move while clad in light armor. Yes, quite obvious. But it must be mentioned, mustn't it? Not only for thieves and assassins, mind you, even hunters and nimble warriors can dabble in this skill. A solid C tier for its lacking protection. Now behold the wonders of the speech skill, or rather the art of persuasion and bartering. A skill mastered by the mongrel dogs of the Empire, convincing anyone to buy or sell anything. Alas, the lowest of the D tier, and now that I think about it, I suspect Belethor to have imperial blood flowing in his veins. And let us not forget the signature crafting skill for stealth alchemy, the delicate art of brewing potions and poisons from mysterious ingredients. Yes, Nerevar, you might think it wise not to put just any odd plant in your mouth, and you'd be correct. For you can discover the effects of these curious ingredients by eating them or brewing them into potions. Although I must admit, it would be far wiser to learn from recipes instead. Ah, Skyrim, ever the land of innovation not being able to provide you with a simple recipe book. I grant it A tier for alchemy, as some of those potions do prove quite useful. Let us now venture into the realm of combat, dear Nerevar. Yes, the exhilarating art of swiftly dispatching your enemies with a weapon in hand. But before we proceed, let me offer a disclaimer, just to ensure we're on the same page. Unarmed combat, my friend, is a sub-form of combat that involves attacking your opponents with nothing but your bare fists. Yes, no need for weapons, just good old-fashioned pummeling. It's certainly not a proper form of combat, mind you, but it does have its own quirks. You won't find a dedicated skill tree for it, oh no. But certain races are naturally more adept at inflicting damage with their fists, and there are even perks and enchantments that can enhance the power of your punches. Truly a sophisticated art for those with pockets so shallow they can't afford a proper weapon. D tier, naturally, because why dirty our hands when we can cast spells with them? Now, let us delve into proper skill trees, starting with one-handed. Ah, the finesse and precision required to wield a single-handed weapon, be it a dagger, a sword, a mace, or a war axe. And with the advent of dual wielding, you can mix and match weapons in both hands with no limitations. A delightful free-for-all, wouldn't you say? But do take note, my dear Nerevar, that while you revel in the glory of dual wielding, you shall forfeit your ability to block. Oh, the sacrifices one must make for style, a respectable C tier, for it does make one look rather dashing. Now brace yourself for the two-handed skill. Ah, the thrill of wielding massive weapons such as great swords, battle axes, and warhammers. The Nord's absolute favorite, I dare say. One cannot help but wonder if they are attempting to compensate for something with those unnecessarily colossal weapons. D tier, my friend. And then we have archery, or as some like to call it, marksman. As the name suggests, it governs the skill of wielding bows and crossbows. Quite self-explanatory, really. But let me enlighten you, Nerevar. Handling a bow is no easy task. It requires precision and finesse, especially considering the myriad of different projectiles at your disposal. It is, however, nothing that a well-placed fireball or a lightning bolt can't surpass. A resounding D tier, for there are more efficient ways to rain destruction upon your foes. Now, heavy armor, my friend, is the skill that governs your ability to move and fight while encased in weighty plates of armor. Just like its lighter counterpart, there's a certain art to training your body to endure the heaviness and lack of flexibility that comes with such formidable protection. And let's not forget the sweltering heat that accompanies it. D tier, naturally, for it takes a certain level of commitment to embrace the life of an overheated tin can. Block, the skill that allows you to mitigate damage from both melee and ranged attacks by employing a shield, a torch, a one-handed weapon, or even a two-handed weapon. D tier, my dear Nerevar, I'm well aware that many of these skill trees possess names that make their purpose abundantly clear. But what can we expect? It's a way for the ignorant Enwas of Tamriel to understand how to do things correctly. It's a marvelously efficient system to keep civilization running smoothly, isn't it? And naturally, we can't forget the crafting skill associated with combat, can we? Smithing, my friend, is the art of shaping hot iron through diligent hammering. It requires a certain level of strength and muscle. Solid A tier because, well, I do need someone to craft my exquisite equipment after all. The only reason it falls short of an S tier is because no one can or will ever match the peerless skill of the Dwemer in the realm of smithing techniques. Nerevar, we have arrived at the grand finale, magic! How fitting that I saved the best for last, for it is abundantly clear that magic surpasses the previous two categories in every conceivable way. Prepare yourself for the magnificent display of the 5 schools of magic, each a shining testament to the superiority of the arcane arts. Let us begin with Alteration, a school that bends the laws of reality itself, allowing one to manipulate the very fabric of the world. Who needs cumbersome armor when you can transform your own skin into the very elements that compose it? Oh, the utility spells and the wonders of transmutation. A necessity in your daily magical repertoire, dear Nerevar. S tier without a doubt. Now, Conjuration, the art of summoning creatures or objects at the caster's whims. Why bother with the mundane act of forging steel when you can conjure a sword out of thin air? And if you happen to be feeling melancholic over the loss of your dear pet Guar, fret not, for you can simply raise it as an undead companion and be joyous once more. S tier, my friend, for the sheer versatility it offers. Destruction magic, the epitome of offensive power. Fire, frost, and lightning, the very elements harnessed to dispossess your foes of their health. How can a feeble arrow ever compare to the might of a lightning bolt, a torrent of fire, or an icy blizzard? Controlling the very forces of nature itself surely deserves no less than S tier, Nerevar. Illusion magic, oh, the wonders it holds. It allows you to manipulate perception, turning invisibility into child's play and granting you the power to deceive the senses. Why bother crouching when you can simply vanish from sight? The memories, Nerevar, of our younger days sneaking about, muffling our steps, and reveling in the joy of invisibility to procure those delectable radish tartlets produced by your house. Truly, good times indeed. S tier, my friend, for the fond memories it brings. Now, Restoration, the magic dedicated to healing physical ailments, conjuring wards far superior than any shield, and dealing with the undead. Who needs to traverse the vast reaches of a continent in search of rare flowers hidden within the depths of a Falmer den, when you can mend your wounds with a flick of your magical prowess? Although I must admit, I hold some disdain for this particular school, as the mongrel dogs have claimed it as a domain granted by their false gods. Now the only place one can receive proper healing is within their accursed temples. Disgusting indeed. Nevertheless, it remains superior due to its magical nature, S tier. And finally, we have Enchanting, the crown jewel of magical craftsmanship. Enchanting allows you to imbue weapons, armor, and clothing with marvelous magical effects. A sharp and mundane stick may be deadly, but why settle for such banality when you can make it spew forth fire, freeze your targets, paralyze them, or drain them of their very magica and vitality? Oh, Nerevar, I shall let you guess the tier for this one, for it is so blatantly obvious. Yes, you are correct. It is a resounding S tier. Well, Nerevar, thank you for listening to this sermon. Please don't forget to honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned by raising your thumbs, subscribing to my sermons, and writing on the parchment down below. I want to thank my patrons: Connor Runda, Tanya Davis, Unoriginal Username, Janelle Rambo, and Silky Johnson. Thank you for the script. Sixth House Records. I have another sermon coming soon on secondary antagonists, so stay tuned for that one.